Hey there my friend, I'm Abby, creator and owner at Abbi Kirsten Collections, and in this tutorial I am sharing a super fun heart surprise pop-up treat box with you. You can find the details to access these templates and the supplies you'll see me mention here for yourself below in the video description. So let's review the supplies real quick we're going to need for making this sweet project. First, you're going to need to have a cutting machine. So you're going to need to have a medium weight cardstock. If you're using a cutting machine, pick that in your choice colors. If you're going to want to have some kind of craft glue, I like to use the Barely Art craft glue. That's my favorite brand. You'll also want to have a Cricut mat. You'll need a scoring stylus, or you can use the scoring wheel if you have the Cricut Maker or Maker 3 machine. And then I like to use a brayer tool to push my material to the mat, to press my cardstock to my mat. And then of course you'll need a small treat or a small gift to go inside the box. Additionally, you can also use a Cricut pen to have your Cricut write a little message on the heart that goes inside of our pop-up surprise treat box. All right, let's go ahead and get these cut out. So I've already got my design loaded up in Design Space, and the only thing you want to be aware of is when you are setting this up in Design Space, you're going to want to make sure that you change those lines that come in on it, those black lines, to score lines, and then use your attach tool at the bottom of the layers panel to hold the score lines in place. I'm going to get these cut out in my choice colors. I'm using a medium weight cardstock. I'm also going to be incorporating a little bit of glitter cardstock for the front as well. Now, if you like, you can type out a message in Design Space and then have your Cricut write a message on the little heart that goes on the inside of the box. Again, just make sure that when you type out that message in Design Space that you have used your attach tool to hold that writing text to the heart so that everything is cutting out and writing exactly where you want it to. So I have all my pieces cut out, and I'm going to start with this main piece here. You're going to see all of the score lines that were set in Design Space, so just take your time to carefully fold along each of those score lines. You're going to see several tabs, and then you'll see the actual lines that are making up the box area. So just go slow and careful around all of this and get good creases going there with your score lines. There's also going to be score lines on the long rectangular piece, as well as the small little piece that goes on the inside that the heart will set on. So just carefully fold along each one of those score lines. Once I have all of those score lines creased there, I'm going to grab my craft glue. I use the Barely Art craft glue, and I'm going to add some on each of the tabs and fold it inward. You want to make sure that you're being extra careful that you're getting a nice clean alignment with that edge to edge there, and we're lining up those creases very carefully because it's really going to play into how well the box opens and closes. So just be extra careful with your alignment there and get those nice crisp edges. All right, so your box should look something like this. It kind of looks like a square Pac-Man once you get it in its initial state here, and it'll kind of open and close like that. Next, take the long rectangular piece and you want to fold along the 3 score lines, and then you'll also notice that we scored 3 just small straight lines in the middle here, and those are going to be your guides for where to glue this piece to. So this little piece here that also had lots of score lines you needed to fold, we're connecting that to this piece, and the 3 dashed score lines in the middle there where I'm placing my glue, that acts as your guide as to where to place the glue and where to align this little pop-up piece here that allows our heart to open and close when the box opens and closes. Take note that the score lines that we're using as guides here, there are 3 different sizes, and those sizes will be identical to the length of this pop-up piece that we're adding, so just make sure you're adding it the correct direction. So next we're going to add on the little decorative ribbon for our box. So you'll see one really long piece, and you want to start that right where the box lifts open. Make sure you don't cover the opening of the box with it, but you want to start where the box lifts open, and then you'll work your way up along the top, the back, and then down to the bottom. And then you'll see 2 additional pieces as well, and you'll see how those align along the top of the box and along the bottom of the box to create that classic look of having a ribbon tied around your box. Next, you're going to take your 2 bow pieces, and I like to use my Cricut scraper tool to sort of add a little bit of a gentle curl to it. And the reason I do it this way is because with my cardstock being a medium weight cardstock, it can work a lot better to gently curl it first before you glue the centers together, and it adds less crease to your ribbon. It makes it look more fluid, like a curling ribbon. So I do recommend that. If you don't have the Cricut scraper, perhaps you're cutting this by hand, then you can absolutely use something like a pencil or a dowel to just sort of curl and roll it. And then you're going to glue each end inwards with a little bit of that craft glue. You'll repeat this with the second piece, and then you'll go ahead and you'll glue the two together, stacking them on top of each other to create that bow. Then go ahead and place your bow right in the center there of where our ribbon crosses over. How cute is that? It looks just like we actually tied a bow with our cardstock on the box. Now feel free to get creative with embellishments here. I'm adding a couple of little sticker rhinestones right to the center of my bow because I wanted to give it a little bit of a finishing touch, but of course you can have a lot of fun and get creative with different embellishments that you could add as well. Next, it's time to go ahead and finish the components of the pop-up surprise on the inside of the box. So go ahead and open it up, just set the box aside for a moment. We're gonna be working with this main piece here that we added that little pop-up element to. Now, the first thing you want to do is just make sure, again, everything is nice and creased as it should be. I have my little heart here and I've written a message on it. I'm going to go ahead and add glue to the two long pieces that are kind of parallel to each other here. And you just want to add glue only to that section, nowhere else. And you're going to place your heart right on top of it. Next, we're going to place this entire piece into the box. So the bottom part of it that is folded down, you're going to be gluing to the bottom inside of the box, the bottom front inside of the box. And then the piece at the top, you're going to be gluing to the front inside of the box. And you'll see how it seamlessly opens. Again, make sure that you are aligning those folded edges very carefully. That way everything is staying nice and crisp and everything's going to open at the correct angle. We don't want anything opening crooked or straining and then tearing. So just be careful with that alignment as you're putting that in there. I recommend sort of holding one section at a time, especially if you're using the craft glue like this. Give it a couple minutes to grab before you move on to the top piece that you need to attach to the inside of the top of the box. So I'm going to add glue to this folded piece here, and then we're going to glue that right into the top part of the box there, the part that will ultimately be facing us when it's closed. Now before you try and open and close this, again, let that glue dry for a couple of minutes. You don't want to strain it, cause things to shift, and then it's not opening at the correct angle. So try to be patient even though it's super exciting. Now the final step is to add our little heart to the front where the box is actually going to be lifted open. So this is optional, of course, you don't have to add this, but I like adding this little part here. You could do a different embellishment or a different cutout if you want. I did this in a glitter cardstock because I thought it would look really fun and it kind of match the little sparkle in the center of the bow as well. So this part's optional, but I think it's super cute. It also kind of shows the recipient where to pull open. And then we have our little message that pops up inside. So you can also add a treat or a little gift or something to the inside of the box as well, and your recipient will be able to pull that out, and you'll see how this folds down in place. So how fun is this cute, adorable little pop-up heart surprise box? You can find these templates linked below in the video description for you. I hope you'll go and download them, and I would love to see your creations. So make sure you tag us on social media at Abbi Kirsten Collections so I can check out and see what you're making. So what do you think of this project? I'd love to know. Go ahead and leave me a comment below, and I will see you in the next video, my friend. I'm Abbi, your friend in the pursuit of craftiness. Bye for now.